Good to see y'all. My name's Michael. Today we're going to talk about level, plumb, and a plumb bob and how to use one in construction. When people hear the word level, this is the tool that's going to come to mind. It's a 4-foot level. In the building trades, if you want to check a material horizontally, we call that level. When you want to check a material vertically, we call that plumb. A lot of people are still going to call it level or vertical level, but in the building trades, we call this plumb. Okay, now that's a level. This is a plumb bob. A 16-ounce brass plumb bob with replaceable tips if you need to. These things last forever. It's a string with a weight on it that relies on gravity to achieve plumb. That's what a plumb bob is. Yeah, I'm gonna show you a couple others. One plumb bob I made, and one that might just be sitting in your toolbox right now. Okay, this is a chalk line. A lot of DIYers might have that around the house. Same thing, it's a string with a weight on the bottom of it. That's a plumb bob. That can be a plumb bob. This one I made about 5 minutes ago. This is an eye bolt with a string attached to it. Again, it's a heavy weight with a string that relies on gravity to achieve plumb. So if you needed like just a quick way to find plumb, get yourself something heavy and get some string. Anyway, we're gonna do a demonstration. I have a shed I built 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and we're gonna go out and check the walls for plumb. Let's hope I did a good job, and let's go get to work. All right. So now we're going to test to see if this 8-foot wall in my shed is plumb or not. So we're going to hammer the nail up at the top there, and then we're going to tie a string line to the top with the plumb bob at the bottom. That's your brass weight. So I tied this up, and the string has stopped moving, so we're going to do a measurement. And you can come all the way down here to the tip if you like. Measure off of that stud. That's 2 1/8 of an inch. And then you come up here to the top or as close as you can get. That's 2 1/16 of an inch. So we're only off a 1/16 of an inch, which is very small in an 8-foot wall. So that means this thing is plumb, or as close as you can get to it. Now we're going to try our DIY plumb bob we made out of an eye bolt. Okay, now we're going to do a second measurement with our DIY plumb bob, which is an eye bolt and a piece of string. We'll measure top. Two and a half. Measure bottom. 2 9/16. So again, off of a 1/16 of an inch in an 8-foot wall, so very plumb. So that confirms it's just gravity. As long as you have a string and a weight, whether it's an official plumb bob or whatever type of weight you tie to a string. Okay, so we talked about how to plumb a wall, an existing wall out in the shed, and now we're going to talk about plumbing a wall you're about to put up for the first time. In remodeling, or if you're doing a shed build, something like that, you're going to most likely build your wall on the ground and then raise it up, and you'll have a dedicated chalk line or an edge of a platform or foundation, so you know where your bottom plate's going. So you're going to raise your wall up, your brand new wall, and then you're going to fasten your bottom plate because you know exactly where that's going. To get your top plate and plumb with your bottom plate, instead of doing like we did out in the shed where we drove a nail in, pulled our string line a couple inches off, dropped our plumb bob and measured off the string to see if we were plumb. Here, we're going to hold the string right on the edge of the top plate, lower our plumb bob, and move our wall back and forth until the tip of this plumb bob hits the inside edge of the bottom plate. Once you achieve that, you got plumb. And you can brace it off, stake it, make sure it doesn't move any longer, and you're good to go. So that's the difference between checking plumb in an existing structure and checking plumb on the wall you're fixing to raise for the first time. If y'all enjoyed this video or got something out of it, please like and comment. Love to hear from you. As for me, I'm off to another project. We'll see y'all next time.